Hey you guys, so today I will be doing my very first story time video on my channel. A few people have requested that I start doing story times, but I really didn't know what to talk about. But not too long ago, someone approached me with a question about my nails, so I kind of like backtracked in my brain to a really good story to share with you guys about my nails. Not these particular nails that I have now, but some that I have gotten in the past that just went horribly wrong. So I feel like it would be a really great story to tell. So getting into the story, one of these times that I was wearing fake nails, I was actually wearing them for a while. I had got them for my junior prom and I just kept them over the summer, and I kept them from April, May, June, July, August, September, all the way up until October. So that was about 7 months. And in October, which is like now, is like my birthday month. So I wanted to get a fresh set for my birthday because I had begun fill-ins like every 2 to 3 weeks. But for my birthday, I feel like a fresh set would just really feel nice and look nice, and that's what I wanted to do. So in order to get a whole new full set, I would have had to soak off the nails that were on my fingers or get them soaked off by the people at the nail salon shop and like get them redone. So just like basically starting from scratch. So I went to the nail shop, and this was a nail shop that I really fell in love with. They were literally like 2 minutes from my house. I could have walked there. It was fairly new, so it was just a nice clean environment. The manager, like the owner of the nail shop, the lady, she always did my nails. She was just really sweet, kind of like a mother figure to me, because she would like talk to me and everything, and she was just really nice. Like, it was the best nail shop that I felt I had ever been to in my life. So the day that I went was actually the day before my 18th birthday, and this is when I was going to, instead of getting a fill-in, just get a whole new full set. So I get there, and the lady, the owner of the shop who usually does my nails, is like doing someone else's pedicure. So of course, I mean, I'm an easygoing person, so I don't mind like going to other people's chairs or letting someone else work on my nails. Like, that's never been really a big issue for me. I'm just down for whoever to do whatever, as long as they're doing it decently, you know. This guy comes out of the bag, and this guy comes from the back. He's like, "What do you need, ma'am?" And I say, "Oh, I want to get these soaked off, and I want a new fresh full set," whatever I told him. So he's like, "Okay, sit in this chair." Okay, so I sit in the chair, and when nail shops take off your nails to put on new ones, they do, like, every nail shop that I've ever been to uses a different method. Some let you just soak in acetone and like hot water. Some will take the drill and drill it down and then like let you soak in the water, or drill it down and pick it off, like pull it off, because it'll be kind of like not there anymore. I mean, I've done so many. Some people file it down, and I mean, I've been through so many ways to get nails off. So this guy was a way I had never seen before. So he took some nail clippers and he just like cut the tips off, just cut them off. So I still had the acrylic on my regular nail bed. He then took the clippers and started prying the acrylic. So as he's prying the acrylic, it's painful because that like where the acrylic is like stuck to my nail is just getting pulled, and it hurts. So I'm like tensing up, saying, "Ow," you know, jumping. And I didn't tell him, I'm like, "Hey, that hurts," but I'm like, "Ow, ow," you know. And so he's just doing it, and I've always been a person, I have a very high pain tolerance, but at the same time I don't like pain. So I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, like, this is why I hate the nail shop, because it's so painful. Like, it's always painful, like, no matter when I go, but I'm always in my head like, if I just endure the pain for these, like, for this 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever, I'll be looking cute for the next 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh, let me suck this up, you know. So he's just literally prying it off. Like, he's not being delicate, he doesn't care, he's just prying them off and just doing his thing. So at this point, my fingers are really numb, they're hurting, and he gets to my index finger on my right hand, which, by the way, is the hand that I write with, because it's my dominant hand. I do everything with it well, pretty much everything with my right hand. So he gets to the index finger on my right hand, which is the pointer finger, if you guys don't know what an index finger is. And he's pulling the acrylic off. And as he pulls it off, like the last little strong tug he did, he pulled out a chunk of my nail bed, like my actual nail underneath the acrylic. I bust down into tears. I'm like, stop. Like, I pull my hand away, and he's like tries to grab my hand back, and I'm like, stop, you know, like why are you manhandling me? So at this point, like, I'm crying because it's just so painful. Like, literally the pain in my finger, just like from this pain right here from me getting my actual nail ripped off, was just traveling through pretty much my whole body. Like, my hand was numb. Like, my fingers are already sore from being pulled out, but this one, like, since he actually pulled out my nail bed and damaged my nail bed, like, my whole hand was numb, my arm was numb, like, it just hurt. I was in pain. So at this point, I'm like sobbing. I'm just like, well, not sobbing, but like, you know, the crying that you really can't control. It's kind of like you're hyperventilating and crying at the same time. I really honestly feel like I was going into shock because I was in so much pain. Believe it or not, that's a very, very painful experience. I was upset because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm thinking in my head, like, my nails aren't going to get done for my birthday. What the heck? Like, and then I'm thinking, like, oh my God, I'm angry with this guy because I told him, I mean, I didn't tell him, but, you know, I was hinting that it hurt, you know, and he just didn't care. And then on top of that, he's trying to pull me and continue ripping acrylic off of my injured finger. Like, so I'm pissed at him, upset that my nails aren't going to be the way I want them to be, and then going into shock because my body is just in so much pain. Like, do I need to get up and go? Am I going to pay them? Like, all of these things are just running through my head of like what I'm going to do next. So he goes ahead and starts like putting the tips on and like just doing my full set. So he gets to this finger and he like gets some weird device out. I have never seen one of these. He gets it out and puts it around my finger and tries to lay the acrylic over my nail, which isn't there anymore. So like just on my raw finger. And I'm like, stop. He's like, I have to do this. I said, no, you don't have to do this. Skip that finger. So I'm just like letting him do all the other things except for this like one finger, you know. So he's just like he just gets the attitude, and he's just like grabbing me and just being really like, you can tell like he had an attitude. Like, sometimes they are a little rough with you if you're not really moving with them, but he was just being like, he was like manhandling me for real. And I asked him, I was like, well, do you have a band-aid for my finger? And he's like, no, we don't have band-aids here. And I'm just like, how do you not have band-aids at a place that deals with hands and feet, like, and you use sharp tools? Like, how do you not have band-aids or first aid kits or anything? So I'm just like, all right. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm literally, the whole time this was going on, I was still crying, like, because it was, I was in so much pain. Like, the whole time I was talking to him, he was talking back to me, but I was still crying. So I'm still like, you know, doing that, whatever. So the manager, like the owner lady, finally realizes that I'm upset, and she comes over, and at this point he's still cutting the tips off of my fingers and like trying to shape them up and everything. She comes over and she's like, what's wrong? And then out of nowhere he just like slams my hand, like, well, not my slams it, but like he like dunks my hand into the bowl of acetone. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, in my head I'm like, what are you doing? But in my real life I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to pull my hand down because it's like really hurting, because you're dunking my raw finger, like my raw exposed flesh, into this acetone. Of course it's gonna burn. And I'm just like, he was trying to hide it from the manager, and he was like, he said something like in Vietnamese to her. I'm assuming it's Vietnamese. I'm pretty sure that they were speaking Vietnamese. So he said something to her in Vietnamese, and then she replied in Vietnamese and just walked away and went back to what she was doing. So I'm like, okay. So he takes my hand down and then like dries it off like the towel, whatever. And so then he tells me to like go wash my hands, because I guess he's like reshaped my fingers, like it got that stuff all over. So he tells me to go wash my hands, and I'm like, this is not right. Like, the stuff that he was doing like just wasn't right. So he finishes polishing my nails. Now that they're the shape that I want, it was my little finger injured. I'm like, okay, maybe I can live through this. My finger's still in severe pain, but I'm just like, okay, I'll be okay. I'm at a good night's worth of sleep, whatever. So he gets done polishing my last nail, puts the clear coat on it, and then he just turns the light off at the chair that I'm sitting in, like the little table I'm sitting at. Turns the light off, doesn't turn the fan on for me to dry or anything. He just walks to the back, like, storage room, and he just never came back out. So I'm just sitting there like what? Like, do I pay or no or what? So I get up and I'm walking down, the manager, the owner lady was like, did you pay? And I was like, oh no. So I already had the cash ready, so I just like gave it to her and left. So thank God that even though my right hand is my dominant hand, I drive with my left hand, so I was able to drive home and everything. When I got to the house, my mom was there, and I immediately went to like our medicine cabinet, put a band-aid on. She's like, what's wrong with your hand? And then I told her what had happened, and my mom got so upset. Like, my mom is not a lady that likes to cause scenes or anything, but she was so pissed because she's like, somebody hurt my baby. We need to get to the bottom of this. And on top of that, she was mad that I paid and they had damaged my hand. Because like I said, this is my dominant hand, which means that I couldn't write with it, I couldn't use it. Like, it was just crazy. So my mom drove me back up there, and so we walked inside, and then the owner was like, oh, you're back again? And she's like, what do you need, ma'am? Like, to my mom, thinking my mom was getting something done. And my mom was like, oh, we need to speak to the owner. And I'm thinking, like, mom, it is owner. So the lady comes up, she's like, what's wrong, what's the problem? So I tell her that the guy who had done my nails damaged my finger, and I wanted my money back. So the lady's like, well, can I take off the band-aid? So I let her look at it. She took off the band-aid. So she was like, well, hold on 1 second. And so she went and got like some cream from the back and tried to put it on my finger. My mom was like, no, don't be putting that on her open wound or like her open flesh. Like, don't do that. So the lady's like, well, I need to clean it. So then she got some like alcohol and like sprayed it, which burned like crap once again. And then she like got a band-aid and put a new band-aid on it. So they did have band-aids, but I'm just like, so y'all did have band-aids, and the dude was being a jerk and would give me one. I was like, well, will I be able to get my money back because I can't use my hand? I'm like, my nails really aren't the way that I wanted them anyway. I said, I just really had a bad experience. So then she just yelled out something Vietnamese, and I guess she was calling the guy's name or something because he emerged from the back again. Like, I guess his little secret hideout, he emerged. And when he saw me, he immediately just turned, like, his face was like bloody red. Like, he had turned so red, he was so mad. And he immediately started just yelling out Vietnamese insults, I'm assuming insults, or defending himself or whatever. So the lady said to me in English, she was like, he just told me that when you got here, your finger was already damaged. I was like, no, he did this to me. And she's like, well, he said it was already damaged before you got here. And then she said something back to him in Vietnamese, and he's just going ham in Vietnamese the entire time. And I'm just like, this makes me so uncomfortable because I have no idea what he's saying. Like, I really don't care what he's saying because I know what he did and he knows what he did. And it was so funny because he started like sweating and everything. My mom was just like, well, we're gonna get the news up here and we'll be back, blah 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 blah. She was talking like a whole lot of crap. Like, she wasn't being rude or disrespectful, but she was just letting them know, like, if you guys don't acknowledge the problem, someone else will acknowledge this problem. So the lady was like, well, I'm so sorry, yada blah. Then we left. And literally ever since then, I hadn't been back to that nail shop. I was like, I'm so done with them. I'm never going back. They were my favorite nail shop. Like I said, I was going to them for about 6 months straight. Like, I really, really liked them until that incident occurred. And then literally about a year later, I looked over in a little location that they were in, and they were closed and gone. So I was like, yay, karma. Thank you, karma. Thank you. So I really thought that was crazy. But ever since then, like, going to the nail shop has been kind of an iffy experience for me. If I feel the slightest bit of pain, I immediately get so nervous because I just don't want that to happen again. Like, it was just so terrible. And the people at nail shops, they're just really iffy people. You know, I already find disrespectful when they are like talking to each other. Like, I know that maybe that language is your native tongue, but me as a customer, like, I just feel like that's kind of rude sometimes. Then they're very pushy, and they also, like, they don't respect you. They get attitudes really quickly. So it's been really hard for me to find a good nail shop. Thank God, more recently, I did want to try, like, African American ran nail shops. I tried that one time. It was a hot mess, but I have found a nail shop that I seem to like. People are really nice and caring. I'm never getting hurt or anything. My nails come out beautifully. I don't know if you guys can see my nails now. They're like super, super duper, like, oh my God, I love them. If you haven't seen them, you can go like check out my pictures on my Instagram, because like they're literally so bomb. But yeah, so that was my little story time about my nail shop experience from hell. If you guys have a similar story, or just have a story, a crazy nail shop story, I know those nail shop employees and owners can be really, really crazy. You can share them down below. If you guys want to just send in requests for any other story time to see if weird things have happened to me, you can definitely leave those requests down below. I will definitely start trying to incorporate story times on my channel, because I love to talk, and this gave me an opportunity to do that and to share a little portion of my life with you all. So thank you for watching, and I think I'm almost at 50,000 subscribers now, so thank you all so much, and I just really appreciate you all. And before this video becomes like an hour long, I'm going to go ahead and just say goodbye. So bye, see you guys in my next one.